Hello everybody and welcome to another Jim Sunday Sandwich where Jim here, poor old me. Oh, I'm suffering from crumpet. Oh, here's two more. Vicky Nash and Debbie Arnold.
Hello.
Went down the wrong hole.
Oh God,
that's what you say to
we're
all the
already
girls.
on wrong holes.
Please, we don't want any of that.
Seconds.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's just a little snippet of what we're going to be doing on YouTube this afternoon as I sit with these two females. Am I allowed to say that? People who have babies. People with wombs.
People with boobs.
Jim's got boobs.
Have you got boobs?
I've got boobs.
Have you got boobs? They're called boobs.
Yeah.
Men boobs.
Want to feel?
No.
Well,
they're quite
With a
nice,
payback.
actually. They feel better than mine, I think.
I wouldn't know. All right. So now, with the demonstrations going on, which we will talk about in more detail on Ustream, we've also got to talk of the fact that Nigel Farage is going to the jungle. And have we heard of anybody else that's going?
No.
Well,
Who is it?
I've never heard of anyone
I've got
else.
a list here.
Go on, who are they?
Okay, so Nella Rose. No.
Is she something to do with? She's sort of like an internet
Influencer or
an influencer,
some
yeah.
show. We've got Grace Dent, who's the food critic, haven't we? Who hated the jungle, but has obviously been paid. She's a food critic, isn't she? Grace Dent. She hated the show apparently, but now he's on it. Marvin Humes from JLS. You won't know him.
Yeah, but I know him.
Yeah, you'll
One
know
person,
him.
yeah.
Tony Bellew, boxer.
Tony Belly?
Bellew.
Does he?
Frankie Dettori's in there. But
I love Frankie Dettori.
Well, he's in there.
probably here somewhere under the table.
Britney's sister.
Britney's sister.
Yeah.
Britney Spears'
Britney who?
sister.
Britney Spears.
Her sister.
The love
What's
of your
the
life.
point? They should put my sister on it then.
Wow, it's
Who gives a fuck about
she's
people?
got a book-
There's Bianca Gascoigne and all these silly people. Son
Whatever
of,
has happened
sister
to
of.
Bianca
Brooklyn
Gascoigne?
Beckham, who the fuck is he?
But Britney's got a book out and they don't get on, don't they? So I presume they think she'll spill a bit of shit about Britney.
Who else?
What's there to spill about Britney? I've seen every inch of her, ain't you?
Yeah.
I quite like her. In fact, I've put Liz Hurley on the back burner.
For Britney?
Yeah.
No, not now. We've had this conversation. We said she might take you at the minute because she's...
I'm not
Hanging.
up for grabs, thank you, as you can tell by my new casual appearance
Yeah,
and
is
my
this-
funny hair.
Yeah, it's lovely, and your shoes.
No, I've got shoes, I've got a bad ankle.
No, but they're lovely, those shoes.
They're not shoes, they're plimsolls.
They're just
They're
trainers,
not
Deb.
plimsolls.
Well,
They're trainers.
Well, they're trainers, but I don't go training. I can't.
This
can
is
tell
so
that.
cool. I love your hair like this, Jim. I think you just look great.
It's had
Yeah,
mixed, it's
and
had
you won't
mixed
see me in no
reviews.
more orange shirts. Don't you worry about
No.
that. But anyway, moving on.
Who else?
Who else we got?
Josie Gibson.
Who's she?
She's that bird who's on this morning, I think.
Yeah,
Isn't she?
she was
Slightly
like,
grubby.
yeah.
That bird. Who's that
Sorry.
bird on this morning? That's that big black woman, Alison
Alison
Holloway.
Hammond.
Was
No,
that
it's not
who?
her.
Alison
Alison
Hammond.
Hammond.
Blimey, that was a wife of. That was an ex-wife.
I was going to say.
Alison, was she? Was she
No, not
called
Alison
No,
Hammond.
not Alison Hammond.
She
No,
wasn't his
I remember
ex-wife.
Alison. I've been through all of them with you, Jim. I've known you that long.
Danielle Harold, still no.
Danielle-
Oh yeah,
Babel.
she's from East. Isn't she from EastEnders?
I think so.
Yeah, she won all the.
You were in EastEnders. Do you
Yes.
remember her?
No, that was before.
Would you go in the jungle?
No, not for. Well, for a
You
million.
can take a maggot, can't you? You could. Would you eat any of that stuff?
No.
Well, I suppose you could have it in your contract to say I can only have kosher maggots.
Yes, exactly. But I don't. Well, I wouldn't do it. Would you do it, Jim?
Every
You
girl
would.
has her price.
Have you been asked?
Well, I didn't ask, but there was a talk about it, and one of the people, the 12-year-old producer girl, we went to a lovely restaurant, did great sausages, and she said, well, you know, it's interesting about, because my manager wanted to find out whether we could do it or not. In fact, I could do it now because I've got 3 weeks over Christmas where I'll be doing nothing. But I don't know if I'd be any good at it, to tell you the truth.
I
And this
think you'd win.
12-year-old said, well, actually, Jim, we don't want arguing and stuff and conflict in the camp. We prefer to have a nice harmony.
They'll get on now. No, that's no fun, is it?
That's no fun. People want argument
I
and
think
punch-ups,
so.
don't they? And Freddie Starr eating people's
But
hamsters.
you see, the thing is, they don't know that you're a big softy underneath all this.
Please, the word's out.
I think you would end up winning,
Yeah.
but I think you'd be put forward for every task, especially if they, it's like, Jim, eat a kangaroo cock.
Would you?
He's on.
Would you
They
do
they
that?
would.
Eat a kangaroo's cock?
Yeah.
Well, if I could catch it, I would. They're bastards, apparently. Smash all your front room up if you're not careful. You don't tie them down. Hence the song. Tie me kangaroo down, sport.
Yeah, exactly. And you know
tell
who
what
made
it
that?
is, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So how much is he getting? Let's have a little vote.
Well, I reckon about $1 million, don't they?
I don't know how people know, because many a time I've been on there and they're saying, oh, Jim got £300,000 to do Big Brother. There's nothing like that.
I don't
Much
think
more.
he'd do it for a lot less than that, though. I think they've obviously spaffed their budget on him, quite rightly. I mean,
That's because we don't know who
front of-
these other people are.
Well, they've obviously left themselves with about 20 grand for the rest.
So is there anybody else after Daniel Harold?
Sam Thompson, no.
No?
No idea. And Nick Pickard, you might know.
I
Your
know
daughter
him.
might know
Yeah.
Nick.
No, I
He's
know.
Hollyoaks,
No,
yeah?
but I was in Hollyoaks at the very beginning, and he was there at the very
Yeah.
beginning.
Where's Hollyoaks?
Hollyoaks, the television series. It's it's set in Liverpool.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm
Well,
gonna watch
Chester,
that and I
actually.
can't
no,
wait.
but it's no, but it's been mainstream for 25
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
And he's been in it since the beginning.
Since the start, right?
Yeah.
So that's it.
I don't think he'll be on anything like they're announcing. I think that probably Nigel and his people have bumped up the price, so people like us would say, well, how can you turn that down? I think Nigel's absolutely right. There's a lot of young people out there that would actually like him, rather than young people tend to hate everybody and then get to like them, rather than like people. I suppose you
I
never
think
get
he'll end-
disappointed, do you?
I
if you
think
hate
he'll end up
people?
being very popular.
I think he will, because he is a nice guy. He is very popular. What's Nadine Dorris been saying about things? She's been kicking off with her
Well,
book.
she's very much. She's always been in support of Boris, hasn't she? So she's really thrown.
Do you think that Boris was serving it, doing the... Anyway, let's move on. I'm a celebrity, get me out of the the European Court of Human Rights.
So we
Now,
should.
that's what we need to get out of them.
do.
What is that?
And, well, it's
then
the
we can
European
stop-
Court of Human Rights. It's
Yeah.
the ones that when we want to transport people to Rwanda, you get these lawyers, of which my daughter-in-law is one, running alongside the plane like this. Stop this plane, you can't go.
There's a Jamaican rapist on there, and he can't go.
There's no way
Let's
he
fight
can
for
go.
his human rights.
He can go back. His maintenance is too much to pay. So let's just talk about what went on, and we'll go on about this a bit more later on. I'm sure Debbie will have something to say, being of Jewish persuasion, and you'll have something to say because you're a media person, an ex-editor. So why does your lot in the media talk about you're either a protester supporting Palestine or you're a right-wing thug? Now, please tell me, A, why the Football Fans Alliance, were suddenly called football hooligans, even before they got on the buses and the train, and why are they called thugs, and why was the only trouble caused by those thugs? That's convenient, isn't it? Well, the police can arrest these white football thugs without any fear of being called racist, aren't they? The wokey police. And I've got a fantastic article to read to you a bit later on. But why are the football thugs called football thugs?
Well, the narrative was written already, wasn't it? Right.
Yeah.
So as soon as anybody turned around and said we're gonna stage a sort of counter protest, immediately far right, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, okay, you might have a handful of thugs. Let's say that, but
there's no thugs then in the Palestinian supporters.
Well, exactly right. Ultimately, a group of white working class men,
Hmm.
they're there to counter protest. They've seen on the streets what's been happening for the past 4 weeks. They've seen the fact that our capital has been taken over by people, basically calling for death to the Jews and the eradication of Israel. They've gone out and immediately, like you say, they're tarnished as far right and thugs. And do you know what? Please spare me this nonsense that people went out to counter-protest because Suella Braverman put an op-ed in The Times, right? These people weren't reading that. They've seen what's happening on the streets,
Well, they can't be thugs and read the Times.
Do you know?
Is that
I mean,
what
it's
you're saying?
absolutely
Well,
ludicrous.
so let's have a look at thugs then. On the other side, there's a picture of a man holding up a poster which was saying that Gaza is the new Auschwitz. I mean, you might have something to say about that.
Well,
your grandparents never came out of places like that.
No,
did
they didn't. Mine were murdered. To be honest with you, Jim, I don't know what to say. I think that, some of my, not immediate family, but just sort of, distant family, they're in Israel and they're fighting. They're in the army, the cousins. And I just find it now, I feel terrified and very, very sad. Very sad about what everybody went through. And now it's coming back again. But I don't understand the reason why. Why this has suddenly happened.
It's an ancient hatred, Deb. And Boris Johnson put not a tweet, whatever it's called these days, and just said, we people are denying what happened on October the 7th, and it's
just
akin
like a
to
lot of
Holocaust
people,
denial.
Yeah, but a lot of people are in Holocaust denial as well,
Absolutely.
which is ridiculous. And so it's, people like me go,
terrifying,
it
don't
could
they?
not be denied because my family were there
So
and they
tell
were
me
murdered.
this, a lot of people are saying, so out there, Israel's a little tiny bit in the middle of a sea of Muslim Arabia, basically. So are they pissing people off? Is Israel pissing people off just for its right to exist? Or what? Are they poking the bear? I don't think they are.
Well, I don't think, to be honest with you, I'm a European Jew. So, you know, all of my family come from Europe. So when we were given this piece of land in Israel, they're saying this is your bit, I don't think they ever wanted that to happen.
No.
And so therefore we were given this land.
Should have gone to Skeggy or something.
Well, so honestly, it would have been better.
Holy land by sort of rights, isn't it? But it's
still, you know, we still should have. Yeah, whatever has happened has happened. But all I can say now is that the Jews now are being completely punished yet again. And
as
you know,
always.
in university, I don't know if you've seen this, but a lot of Jewish people who are in universities, did you see that in the papers? Yeah. Their WhatsApp groups have been infiltrated, and people are swearing at them and saying they're going to murder them.
It's terrifying. And can I just say really quickly as well, so our Home Secretary was correct. There is two-tier policing.
I think
I think the scenes of yesterday, she was vindicated in what she said.
Why? Well, they can stop and search a white person with no problem at all. They won't stop and search a black person because they'll be accused of being racist.
You already said it earlier.
Everybody's got their cameras. Everyone's doing this. The police are frightened to death to nick people, and they're also frightened to death to get in there and grab hold of people physically. Oh no, we'll take their picture and we'll nick them later. Get in there and be coppers. Shut it, Carter. Get in there.
Yeah.
They remembered their powers of arrest when it was to do with the counter protesters.
Oh yeah, you get a load of people there protesting against the lockdown. In went the coppers with their riot gear on. Anyway, let's not drive you all mad for the 10 minutes we have here on YouTube. What we want you to do is to come over to Ustream and have a look what we're going to talk about when we can let the dogs off the leash. No offence, girls.
No. Just